All right, welcome to The Explainer. So today we are jumping right into a really powerful story about what happens when that peaceful bubble you've built for yourself just pops. It's all about choices, the fallout from those choices, and the surprising weight of a quiet, simple life.
So, our story kicks off on this remote farm, and it really feels like it's completely cut off from the rest of the world, you know? The writing just paints this incredible picture of deep, settled stillness. The work has paused, the animals are just chilling, and even the sunlight feels like it's in no rush. It's this profound, almost tangible sense of safety.
And that's the whole point, right? That's what we're digging into here. This is a story about what happens when that deep, comfortable silence gets shattered, when the problems of the outside world show up, uninvited, right on your doorstep.
Okay, so let's really zoom in on this scene and break down exactly how this feeling of perfect calm gets built piece by piece. The source gives us these incredible little details, the clean shadows, the resting animals. It all creates this world that feels like it's in perfect harmony. But it's that last line. Wow, that's the kicker, isn't it? A rhythm that asks for attention but not thought. This isn't about being lazy, it's about a deep, practiced comfort that feels like nothing could ever break it.
So now we meet our first character, Ari. She's inside, sorting herbs with her mom, and their movements are just effortlessly in sync. She's letting herself just sink into this feeling, this sense of total security that comes from the familiar sounds and smells of her home.
But you know it can't last, right? That perfect calm is about to get fractured, and not just from one direction, but from two different intrusions that happen at almost the exact same time.
So the first crack in the silence, it's for Ari. It's not some big, dramatic entrance. It's just a single, firm knock on the door. A courier hands her a sealed letter with a crest she's never seen before, and then just leaves. Every part of this feels deliberate and, quietly important.
The letter turns out to be from someone in her past, named Valeris, and it's describing this new society that they're trying to build. A place that's messy, sure, and totally unfinished, but the key thing is, it's a place where your identity isn't set in stone, where you're allowed to try and fail. It's a straight-up invitation to choose a new life.
And what she does next is so interesting. She doesn't have a big emotional reaction. She doesn't tell her mom. She just folds the letter and puts it in her pocket. And with that one little action, the secret she's now holding, an invisible tension just fills the room.
Okay, so while all that is happening inside with Aries, something else is brewing outside with another character, Karan. While she's dealing with a message from her past, he's sensing a threat in the here and now. For Karan, it's like the world is just slightly out of tune. One of his animals is sick, but he can't figure out why. His partner seems distant, and the forest, the very edge of their safe little world, suddenly feels way too close. It feels like it's listening. The threat isn't a piece of paper, it's this creeping feeling of being watched. And this is where you see the core theme really snap into focus, right? You've got two characters, both having their peace invaded, but in totally different ways. For Ari, it's an internal choice, a pull from the past. For Karan, it's an external threat creeping in from the present.
And just like that vague feeling Karan had of being watched, it becomes very, very real. Two riders appear on the road, and suddenly that external threat has a name and a face.
And this is so important. The way this king, Adian, demonstrates his power. He doesn't roll in with an army or a thunder of hooves, he just arrives. He moves at a relaxed pace, and his presence itself is what commands attention. It's all about control, not brute force.
It's like he has this playbook for dismantling their defenses step by step. He takes off his gloves, getting rid of a symbol of his status. He speaks their language, talking about soil and rain, not politics. He shows them he completely understands their world before he even tries to change it. And listen to this line. He's not making a threat. He's stating what he sees as a fact of life. He's basically saying, hey, power is a magnet for trouble. It's not my fault, it's just the way the world works. He makes his own arrival seem as natural and unavoidable as the weather. So, after completely owning the room without even raising his voice, the king finally turns his attention directly to Karan. And the offer he makes is just brilliant, in a scary way. He's not ordering him, he's offering him everything a person could want. Safety, knowledge, a little bit of control over the future. It's an invitation to trade the uncertainty of the farm for the supposed certainty of being close to power. But Karan's answer? It's just immediate and solid. No hesitation, no bargaining. He chooses the farm, his family, his duties. He just lays it out, I'm needed here. He completely rejects the king's world. And this is where things get really chilling. Because the king doesn't get mad, he doesn't argue, he doesn't threaten, he just sort of nods and accepts it with this cool, analytical comment. His reaction is so unexpected, and honestly, it's way more menacing than if he had just started yelling.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, isn't it? The fact that he doesn't argue is the ultimate power play. It sends a message that Curran's choice, it doesn't really matter. The outcome is already a done deal. He doesn't have to win the argument because, in his mind, he's already won.
And Ari is just watching this whole incredible, quiet power struggle, and you can almost see the gears turning in her head. She's connecting all the dots. The king's calm authority, Curran's firm refusal, and that letter that's starting to feel awfully heavy in her pocket. This is it. This is the big lesson she learns, the main takeaway from this whole encounter. She realizes that in this new reality, yeah, you're allowed to say no. You can choose to stay put, but that choice always has a price tag, just like the choice to leave does. No decision is ever truly free.
So the king leaves, but not before dropping one last little forecast, basically saying that these people are going to change the world whether they like it or not. And that leaves us and them with the huge question of this story. When the outside world starts knocking, does your safe place stay a shelter, or does it turn into a prison that you have to pay a price to stay inside of?